Good morning, gang. Good morning. I am been working on technical problems here, and I'm hoping I've solved them. I couldn't get my camera working for quite some time. Last 20 minutes I've been working on getting the camera up and running. However, if you guys could give me a 5x5 and let me know if you can hear me, a 5x5 would be nice. And then we'll start talking some business here. And by the way, today is Friday, May 14th, 2021. Good morning to everybody. It's 11:15 in the morning. Still waiting for a response. There might be a delay. 5x5, KC Rich. Final countdown. Hey, welcome, American man. Okay, all right, guys. Let's get right to business here, and then we'll have a little chat. As you guys know, you guys were here for that historic landmark vote last night in the Senate. We finally got through that filibuster. We'll talk about wrenches later. Everyone was asking for wrenches last night, and they said they had stuff to post. So that's kind of what happened. Casey Rich, I don't know if you remember last night. You were on like your 17th Jägermeister or something. So you may not remember everything that happened last night. Okay, down to business though. Okay, so we passed in the Senate last night, which was actually our final battle. It's gone through the House, and I want to give a shout out to Liberty Revolutionary. Because he brought Michael Bolden in. Actually, I'm pretty sure that was him. So we had the guy who actually runs the 10th Amendment Center actually come in and join us last night, which was a real honor. It was very exciting. It just was, like I said, it was the icing on the cake for what happened last night with going through the Senate. It really was. And we have gone through now the fiscal review process in the House. That actually happened last night. And the session's completed. There was an official vote to pass it out of committee. I didn't think they'd have to do that, but apparently they did. So basically it is officially on the House floor, not right now, but at 5 p.m., sometime after 5. And we'll talk about that in a minute here. So we are actually in really, really good shape. Now, Resin, I saw that you left a message about going up to the Capitol. Good morning, Dina. Thank you for coming in. So I'll give you guys an update. I've been in contact with Ron Calzone and asked him if he needs, if he needs his troops to come up and help get this across the finish line. And Ron said it's not really necessary for that. If you want to go up there to witness history, feel free. But right now, it's not necessary. The House has been very friendly to this gun bill, very friendly. So, and they have different rules, gang. They have different rules there. So what we saw with that filibuster is not a problem in the House. What we saw in the Senate last night won't happen in the House. Like I said, different rules. So we are in very, very good shape. Now, the next question is, a lot of folks are asking, why are they waiting until the final second to pass this bill? And it's literally to end the legislative season on a high note. This is a big bill. This is a very popular bill. In fact, I don't think they've ever seen anything. Hey, Gray, how's it going, buddy? Nice to have you here. And of course that applies to everyone here. I know Liberty's here, Resin's here, KC Rich, and folks that aren't even chiming in the chat here. Welcome to everybody, and thank you for coming. I just wanted to give you an update of where we're at with the Second Amendment Preservation Act in Missouri, because today is the final day to get it done in the House, and it is getting done in the House. It's just going to be the last bill they handle. So I think probably at about 4 o'clock p.m. is when I'll go live. This is a live stream right now. This is the pre-show to what's going on. And remember now, we have to get it passed through the House and then the governor sign it. We don't know when the governor's going to sign it. There's no guarantee on a date or a time or anything like that whatsoever. Hey, John, welcome. So we are looking at 5 o'clock or after 5 that this will be voted on in the House. And I think it's going to be the very last thing they handle for the legislative year, for the day and the year. Because today's the last day of the legislative season for the state of Missouri. Let's see, Gray, been trying to catch up on a lot of your vids. Didn't release. There was a new channel. Realize there was a new channel. 2,000 subs too. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, it's growing. It's growing very slowly because we're heavily shadow banned by YouTube, and I mean hardcore shadow banned. I try to stay within the rules so they can't just get rid of me, but they can shadow ban the ever-loving feces out of the channel, and they've been doing that. So, okay, I'll stick on topic here. So we are going into the House tonight, or not we, but the bill is going into the Missouri House sometime after 5, and I think at about 4 o'clock is when I'll start our live stream tonight, so we can cover that, so we can all be here for that moment. Those of you, Resin had mentioned going up to the Capitol. Resin, if you want to do that, just to witness history, feel free. But Ron was very specific on that. We didn't need a show of our troops or a show of force in the House because they're very friendly to this bill. The House really represents the state of Missouri. The Senate does not. We'll talk about that another time, maybe even later on in this podcast. But that's where we're kind of at, guys. This is going through today. This will pass the House today. And it will be the very last thing they handle. So just... I know I've been on Facebook. I know there's a lot of people wondering if there's shenanigans involved with this. There's no shenanigans on this, gang. Trust me. This is literally just a deal where they want to end the season or end the legislative season on a high note. So that's where that's at. We will cover it live on Truth, Money, and Freedom. This is the culmination of 2 years of work with everyone who's on Truth, Money, and Freedom. And, of course, we will carry it live, and will everyone go ahead and get yourself some Jägermeisters for tonight. Tonight is another reason to celebrate. However, the governor won't be signing it tonight, as far as I know. I've been making inquiries, and there is nothing coming out of the governor's office for a time to sign this bill. We do not expect any issues with the governor signing the bill or vetoing the bill, is what I mean by that. We don't anticipate that. He voted for the Second Amendment Preservation Act. That's Parsons when he was a senator. And this is a very popular bill. Okay, so let's continue on here. The House is in session. So you guys can see that on your screen. And I've got a link down below to the House, the live feed coming from the chamber. So you guys, if for some reason you're in a position where you can't do this through Truth, Money, and Freedom, but you can do it through the House, be sure to watch it tonight. Like I said, gang, history. Let's see. Hope you're right, bro. What will you call the new channel, TC? I'm not sure about that yet. I've got to think about it. Probably give you guys a lot of say in that when a new channel is created. And we talked a little bit about that last night, and we'll talk about that again sometime real soon. But I think we need a new channel to support our brothers and sisters in the 14 other states that are trying to get SAPA legislation through. I can't find anyone like us, supporting this in their states. And maybe they just need a little jump start. Because once again, it's not just about us. It was never just about us. It's about all of us, all 50 states. Forget the U.S. government here. Let's think of us as individual countries, the way it was originally designed in the United States. And guys, it's this simple. I know people in Minnesota. I come from Minnesota. They have no idea they even have SAPA legislation on their docket right now. There's no one promoting this. And we can go through the history of what I've gone through with the media here trying to get this covered, and they only cover the negative aspects of SAPA, period, end of story. I'm sure it's the same in Minnesota, Iowa, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Louisiana, Texas. I mean, we can name all the states that have this legislation. But so at any rate, we'll deal with that later. But the live feed is down below. So let's see. Okay, let's continue on. I want to finish up my row of tabs here, and then we'll talk. Guys, I have, throughout the last 2 years, mentioned the 10th Amendment Center on my videos more times than I can remember. And it's been a valuable resource for me. But I didn't talk about Michael Bolden. And Michael Bolden actually came into the chat last night. And, that was, like I said, I didn't think the night could get much more exciting until he came in. He has been a champion for the Second Amendment Preservation Act, not just in Missouri, but in all states. But he also realized how critical it was for Missouri to pass a strong bill. So he's been a very strong supporter of our bill here in Missouri. I know that Ron Calzone has been working with him too. And the 10th Amendment Center is just an incredibly valuable resource when you're doing things to try and get the federal government out of your state on certain issues, basically delegitimizing their power. And so what I'm going to do for just a moment here is let you know, down in the description section down below, we have all of Michael Bolden's stuff into the 10th Amendment Center on YouTube right here. Guys, please subscribe to the 10th Amendment Center on YouTube. And then also, Michael Bolden is also very active on Twitter. And I need to give a big shout out to him because he was helping spread the word on what we were doing for our Ubitubathons. For the last 2 days in a row, we did 11-hour Ubitubathons 2 days in a row to drum up support, get everyone, basically on task and focused on the phone calls that needed to go on. And so, Michael Bolden, like I said, I can't say this enough. Thank you so much for helping spread this message of freedom, helping us here in Missouri to get our Second Amendment Preservation Act, through the Senate. Now we're going through the House, and then ultimately signed by the governor. And how there's a lot of people that are going to take credit for this, gang. Let me break from going through the tabs here. There's a lot of folks that want to take credit for this. And I suspect that the big box YouTube Second Amendment channels are going to try and take credit. Other people are going to try and take credit. But let me tell you, from my point of view, from a guy who's been working on this from the inside, and I truly mean working on it from the inside. I was kind of a go-between between the grassroots and the people who are working on this actually internally in Jeff City. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of people to be commended for this going through. And one of them, of course, is Ron Calzone, who has been carrying this torch for 8 years. 8 years it took to get this done. And we could go through all the attempts and why they failed, but it's not necessary. Ron kept this alive. He kept it going. He was not only that, he's working on other stuff too. There's tons of bills that Ron has worked on, and this is a feather in his hat because I do believe the original language for this bill was done by Ron and his attorney, the very same legislation that many other states are using now. So, and they borrow from our language. But here's the thing. People wouldn't even think about this. They think, oh, TC, you were big in this. You should get a lot of credit. I'm not asking for credit. My resources were Ron Calzone, the 10th Amendment Center, my senator, and my rep. Those were my main sources. I had others, and I've been talking to a lot of other senators. Not a lot of other reps, but a lot of senators, like Rick Bratton, Mike Moon. So I can name other senators I've been working with on this. There's just a lot of people in the background working on this to make it work. But what everyone forgets is the resource that they go to. The resources that they've been going to, and the very same resources they were going to were also promoting it. And that's Michael Bolden. So Michael Bolden, deserves a commendation for this as well. He has helped us all the way through by providing us all kinds of important precedents having to do with everything from, basically the 10th Amendment. Well, of course, that's what his center's about, but also anti-commandeering doctrine. So once again, my hat's off to Michael Bolden. He is one of the, how machines have lots of cogs and wheels and gears to make them work? Well, Michael Bolden's 10th Amendment Center was one of those critical cogs, one of those critical gears to keep the whole machine going for the movement of the Second Amendment Preservation Act. And it's not just a movement, gang. This is a revolution. Okay, let me go on. Of course, the 10th Amendment Center has done a write-up already. Thank you very much, Michael Bolden, for helping provide this data. And also a write-up on what has happened so far, linked right down below. I'll also, once again, tip of my hat to Ron Calzone. Ron is someone that I have allied with in a very strong way, and I agree with, he and I, agree with on most things, but how to handle this, we were like 99% agreement on what to do, how to do it, and but like I had anything to do with the planning of it. I was sometimes informed, and that's about it. But Ron is just critical, absolutely critical to the state of Missouri, and I hope someday to be like Ron. That's kind of strange for a 49-year-old man to be saying this about another guy, but Ron is a hero to me. I can't say enough good about him. Okay. Missouri Firearms Coalition, that's Aaron Dorr and his organization. They, of course, deserve a commendation as well. They have done a lot of work on this. That also is somewhat a grassroots movement. Like I said, lots of cogs, lots of gears in this machine to make this work. But I'd like to finish out by talking about Eric Burleson and Representative Taylor. This is my senator, Eric Burleson, and of course Jared Taylor is my representative, so he's my senator, and he fought on this too. Obviously, the bill is his. He may not have written the bill, but he sponsored the bill, and the same thing is true of Jared Taylor. And these guys fought like lions, especially Jared Taylor. I saw it happen. The long nights that he spent in the Capitol last year, when before we got shut down. The work that Representative Jared Taylor put into the Second Amendment Preservation Act is something that is astounding to me. He was very passionate about it, and when other representatives went home at 5 p.m., he was still working. Night after night after night, talking to other representatives, working on this legislation, trying to get it through, forming alliances, making sure that everyone understood it, everyone in the House of Representatives understood it, so when they went to go vote on it, they knew what it was. And then also Eric Burleson. Once again, I got to give him commendation too. He worked it really hard too, and he had the hardest battle. Jared did the pre-work last year, and we can get into last year's work too, because there was a lot of it. But I just want to say thank you to all of them, and now it's time to say thank you to all of you. You guys don't know how critical you were in this operation, I don't think. I think some of you do. But it's the phone calls and the emails, the pressure put on representatives and senators to get this done. That was absolutely critical. That's the grassroots side of it. Like I said, there was internal stuff going on, and I've given credit where credit is due on the internals. There are other people too. I haven't mentioned at this time because they're on the Facebook side. Guys, remember all the gears, all the cogs to make this machine work. There were other groups like ours, working on this, and so that's why if you see those big box YouTubers try to take any credit for this whatsoever, be sure and mention we sure did miss them when we needed them the most. When they absolutely would not talk about this, they wouldn't talk about the Second Amendment Preservation Act, the battles we were going through. And when they had slight mentions on their channel about SAPA legislation, what we needed was the call to action. That's what they always missed. But the mentions were so slight. So, and I'm not saying that I'm critical to this operation. I was another cog or another gear in the system, just like all of you were, but it took all of us together to make it happen. And that's my message on how we got to where we are now. And we will get all the way through this, gang. But I wanted to make a video to make sure that just absolutely critical people were mentioned here. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, I'll go ahead and talk to you guys here. Let's see. Let me scroll back up so I can get to your smash the like button. Thank you very much. Yes, please like the video. Hope you're right, bro. What will you call the new channel? No, we'll deal with that later. If they set it off with the bang at the end of your Parsons, that's correct, Casey Rich. Parsons, politically, I don't think he can say no. I don't think he can get around this. I think he has to sign it politically. I mean, it really would look bad if he didn't. 5 p.m., that is correct, Resin. That's the information I'm getting right now from Ron Calzone, and he got it from Dean Plocker. So you could probably take that to the bank. So I'm going to start the live stream at 4 p.m. today. This live stream I'm doing right now, we're not going to continue it all the way to Passage here, because I got some stuff I'd like to take care of today. Let's see. Am back. What happened with SAPA? Okay, nothing. Basically, we passed the Senate. It's and this is for American Free Press. Right now, we have gone through the process in the House, and they did it last night with fiscal review, and it's been passed out of that committee. So it's going to the floor of the House sometime after 5 p.m. today, Central Time. So that's where it's at. Let's see. The House vote will be after 5. Let's see. I work it all in the background. Yes, Resin, I know. I meant every one of us has done something to help get this through, and it took all of us to make it work. So every single person was critical. The grassroots side, that's the side I work, has been absolutely instrumental to getting this done. But once again, without the 10th Amendment Center, would we have the resources that we need to get this done easily and quickly, and especially with the pertinent information that he was providing, Michael Bolden. Or how about Ron Calzone? If you take him out of the equation, where would we be? Well, we wouldn't even have a bill to begin with, but not to mention all the fighting he's been doing up in Jeff City for 8 years to get this done. So we could go on and on and on, but I mean, like I said, it's just important for everyone to realize how critical everyone was to this operation, including all of you. Let's see. Casey Rich, HB 85 will get passed at the end of the day because of the historical precedents. Let's see. And Missouri Patriot, yes, we're doing good here. This is the pre-show for the big show in the House of Representatives tonight. That'll happen after 5 p.m., but I'm starting my live stream at 4. I don't want to miss it. Didn't see them in this fight at all. Resin. Yeah, are you talking about the big box channels, Resin? Yeah, I don't want to go on about it because people think I'm hating on them. I'm not hating on them. I'm just incredibly disappointed with the big box YouTube Second Amendment channels. I begged that. I don't mind telling you guys. My pride will be intact at the end of this. I begged them for help at the beginning of this year, and actually going up to about a month ago. And it wasn't just me. Jimmy D was begging them too. Begging them, please. We need you to either call attention to this channel or watch this video so you can make your own video and tell everyone what the call to action is. Guys, it wasn't just about spreading the information or being seen with the legislation or the Second Amendment Preservation Act. The importance of doing these videos was the call to action. That's what it was. So everyone knew what was critical at that moment in time. Where do we need to go now? What senator do we need to call? What representative do we need to call? You guys know the deal. This is exactly why I did what I did on this channel. because there wasn't anything else going on like that except for Aaron Doerr's Missouri Firearm Coalition, which I am a member of, by the way. I'm a member of Aaron's organization. But I myself, just my thought process is I aligned more with Ron. So I was kind of an extension of Ron Calzone. That's, and he may say, no, you weren't. But that's kind of the way I felt that I was doing it. I was kind of gauging how Ron was handling things on the inside. Ron has his own grassroots organization too, as you guys remember with the witness forms. That's how he built his organization. Okay. Let's see. Great video. If Parsons vetoes SAPA, Republicans will be replaced by a third party. Casey Rich, I just don't see Parsons vetoing. I know that we'll do videos, going up to Parsons, signing this bill. I don't think he's going to wait forever, like to the last day. I think he'll probably get it done sooner than later. We would be lost without them. We need everyone. Resin says, yep. I beg them too. Thank you for trying, Resin. I seriously mean it. God bless you for trying, because I was getting pretty desperate. I knew the Senate was going to be a hard battle, gang. I knew that when we passed the House. So that's why I wanted the big box channels. I started at the beginning of this year anticipating a problem with the Senate. But once again, it sounds like I'm kicking the dead horse now, so I'm going to stop on that. Perhaps they will step up from here on out. I hope so, because, like I said, this is why I'm thinking about creating a new channel to support SAPA, the SAPA movement in all these other states, because I don't see someone like me, as small as my channel is, I don't see anyone like me doing this in Minnesota or Iowa, a YouTube channel, kind of dedicated to SAPA, getting the information out to the people, getting the grassroots movement started. But once again, we had a lot of cogs and a lot of gears. If Iowa doesn't have a Ron Calzone, they may not be as successful, or may not have as good a chance as we did. But I don't know. I mean, once again, starting a channel like that will actually have a common meeting place for people to get together so they can identify, someone like Ron Calzone. Aaron Doerr is in Iowa, by the way, the Iowa Firearms Coalition or whatever. So Aaron Doerr's there, but Aaron Doerr, he needs more help too. So he could he do it alone? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess, if no one else steps up to the plate. All right, gang. So that's the update here on what's going on. That's the timing. 4 p.m. today is when we'll actually do this. I don't anticipate any problems, guys. I just don't see any issues going through the House. So, Casey Rich, hey man, have you recovered from your Jägermeisters last night? Yeah, this might be a day where you guys want to go out and get a brewski or something, to celebrate when the House gets us through. And once again, for those of you who just joined us late, I did talk to Ron, or I didn't talk, I communicated with Ron Calzone this morning, and a show of force is not necessary to get this done in the House. It's getting done regardless. But those of you who want to go and witness history in real time there at the Capitol, please feel free to go up to the Capitol. We're going to cover it live here on Truth, Money, and Freedom. We'll live stream the events in the House, and they have video, gang, unlike the Senate. So we'll be able to cover that live with video. I had everyone know, call and send emails. At least 50 people I know did something. Thank you, Resin. Same thing here. And Casey Rich, you're feeling great. Good deal. I am too, man. I am feeling awesome. All this hard work we've been doing is going to pay off. Main Street in St. Charles is where I have a drink. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha, Resin. And you stocked up on Swishers. Gotcha, Liberty. I may go ahead and get me a bottle. I'm not sure. I may get something. I had a wine cooler last night, but that was really kind of more a joke. And that's just because we had a lot of lispy senators speaking on the floor. So that was kind of you guys know, you guys understand. I don't need to say anything more. So do you guys have any questions about what's going on, or questions about the process we went through? I believe it is Parsons' last term, Scott. It is. But once again, politically, I don't think he can say no to this. But believe me, we will be calling Parsons' office. I just don't want to call people to start doing that exactly yet. I'll start that after we're done with the House. That's when I will actually make the official call to action for Parsons. Save the cigs. That's right. That's right, Resin. We got to save those menthol cigarettes. And Casey Rich, persistence pays off. It does. This was a long, hard battle. And a lot of people have put a lot of time and effort into this. And once again, if you guys just came in, start watching from the beginning of the video when we're done here, and you guys can see, that what I was saying here about everyone who's done anything on this, at least the major players, and of course the grassroots movement. There's too many people in the grassroots movement to recognize individually. Get Rumble Mints Peppermint Schnapps and get it at Walmart. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll go to the grocery store and get Rumple Mints Peppermint Schnapps. I'll go ahead and get that because I try to avoid Walmart. Okay, guys, any questions or anything? And once again, since some new folks came in here, I can't say enough good stuff about Michael Bolden and the 10th Amendment Center. And over the last 2 years, I have brought up article after article from the 10th Amendment Center, but I never talked about Michael Bolden. And I want to give some credit here, and not only that, but he honored us by coming into the live stream last night. And once again, he's just an awesome guy doing awesome things, and he is a champion of liberty and freedom. For those who are libertarians, most libertarians already know about the 10th Amendment Center. Do we know all that voted against the bill last night? That is a good question, and actually, yes. Let me see what I can do here to bring up an image. Actually, I'll have to find that later. Let's see. Gosh darn it. Let's see if I can find it. Give me a second, guys. If it takes too long, I won't do it. But give me a moment here. I actually used it as the thumbnail. So give me a moment. There it is. There it is, gang. It was a straight line vote. An absolute straight line vote. So it was party lines. Republicans, yes. Democrats, no. And that shouldn't surprise anyone. If it does surprise someone, I'd be surprised. It didn't surprise me. So there it is, for all to see and enjoy. Now, we could talk about this too. Why does it go this way every time? It's Missouri. The Democrats here claim they're representing their base on guns, but I doubt that. Especially in a couple of districts, I'm almost positive they're not representing their base. They're representing their party and their ideology. But we simply don't need Democrats to pass gun bills here. We have a supermajority in the House and the Senate. So it's not necessary. Now, if there is a veto by the governor, this is where it becomes very, very critical. Because in 2014, we had one turncoat Republican that actually voted against it after the veto, who voted for it before the veto. And that one vote is what we were missing to get it passed in 2014. So I don't want to go too much into the history of SAPA. I'm actually thinking about making a documentary on it. but I would need help from a couple of people to do it, and I've not asked them. So if I can't get their help, I probably won't do it. Oh, Rowden's Twitter. Okay. Oh, Liberty, 10th Amendment Center mentioned you directly in a post. Yeah, is that the one from this morning? Or is that something new? Let's see. Let's see, more organizations, 10th Amendment Center. Oh, there we go, 6 minutes ago. As Michael, if you're listening in, man, God bless you. As more grassroots organizations got on board and helped lobby the legislature, pressure even the establishment, like Missouri Firearms Coalition and the small but persistent Truth, Money, and Freedom, they created a climate where even the bad guys had to pretend to support. That's right, they did, and thank you very much for that, Michael. Yep. This is just awesome to get mentioned, from Mike Bolden. I'm telling you. Like I said, that's all for me personally. Just because he is a hero of mine, that's almost as good as passing this bill. And in fact, it's maybe it is just as good. So yeah, that's nice that Michael's recognizing the work that we have done at Truth, Money, and Freedom. And by the way, guys, without you, there would be no Truth, Money, and Freedom. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't get an audience. There'd be no point. I would find another avenue to put my energies into to get this bill passed if you guys weren't responsive and helping out. So thank all of you for what you do. If we can help other states to get it done, that would be great to do the documentary. Agreed. KC, you want to come on the show live? Okay, that's KC. Hey, good morning, KC.
I'm reading Roden's Twitter. You want to hear it?
Sure. You're live on Truth, Money, and Freedom, by the way.
That's fine.
Okay.
Let's see. Caleb Roden, a great team effort to pass important 2A Preservation Act tonight in the Missouri Senate. Appreciate the leadership of Eric Burleson and Dave Schatz and the united support of Missouri Senate GOP caucus. There's another tweet he got. We were honored to work and stand alongside law enforcement tonight to celebrate. Excuse me, hang on. It moved on me. A little technical difficulties. Hang on a sec.
No problem, buddy. Guys, by the way, KC Rich is reading directly from Senator Rodent's Twitter account, Senator Rodent, or also the Rat Man.
All right, I gotta kill that. Wait a minute. Let's get back. Okay, let me try that again. Ready?
Yep, go for it.
We were honored to work and stand alongside law enforcement tonight to celebrate this important 2A win for the people of this great state.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
Yep. Well,
what a guy. What a guy.
Yeah, Rodent is like the last person I could think of that actually had anything to do with passing this. He tried very hard not to pass it. Went on Twitter, instead of explaining his position on SAPA and why he wasn't putting it on the floor, he went out to cry about some threats that he and his family had received. When everyone was calling him, asking him to release SAPA legislation, he decides to spend his valuable social media time complaining about threats. Son of a gun.
You want to hear some more?
Sure, go for it.
Oh, man, he's got all kinds of tweets here. This is a big win for folks from across the political spectrum this year. Kudos to Tony from Missouri and Brian Williams, Missouri, on a job well done. I don't even know who they are, but whatever. Let's see. Oh, and then right below that, that was from May 12th.
Williams is senator, I believe.
Is it? Yeah, okay. I guess the next tweet is when he was whining about, supposed threats or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, that's him up there saying, "Oh, this is so great. I'm so happy. This is so awesome."
Well, thanks for taking a hit for the team and actually following the Rat Man on Twitter.
Oh, I gotta get off this Twitter thing, dude. I told myself a long time ago I'd never get on Twitter.
Yeah, and actually, guys, it's not professional for me to come up with new names for senators, and I apologize about that. But Rodent, was a thorn in my side. And so was Senator Crabcakes. And,
and then this guy jumps up here and tweets this like, oh, yeah, I was behind this all the time.
Yeah, Liberty Revolutionary says he's looking at it as well. The propaganda peddling rodent sickens me. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
you're right. We shouldn't be calling names like rodent. Maybe Choir Boy would be better.
Choir Boy, Rat Man. Yeah, we'll figure out something.
There's your typical politician right there.
Yep, but also, too, in lieu of
He tried to kill it, couldn't do it. Now he's going to jump up and say, yeah, I championed it.
If we were traditional politicians at this point, it's a live and let live scenario. Hey, I beat you, Senator Rodent. We got this through despite the fact you tried to hold it back. We can be friends again now. The answer to that is no. Anyone who threatens liberty, even just a little bit, by holding a bill and holding on to it for a week, for the last legislative week of the year, and won't answer to anybody, including his committee vice chairman, why he is not releasing the bill, it deserves literally to leave. It's time for you to go, Rodent. It's time.
I'm sure he's going to say, well, I want to hold to the last minute so we can make this the last thing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure he'll say that.
And unfortunately, you got so many people out there, they don't know what all went down,
Yeah.
And they're just going to read it and go, oh, wow, isn't that great?
Well, the Rezin here, talked about the documentary that I want to do. And I need help from 2 specific people to get it done, and I haven't asked them yet. So that's why I'm not announcing that I'm working on a documentary at this time. However, in the documentary, we need to call out every single politician since 2013 that was a problem. So hopefully in this documentary, they can never go for public office again, if enough people see it. But also, too, we need to help these other states get it done, Casey Rich.
Definitely.
We do. Yes, we got it done in our state. And does that mean that we bask in the glory of having more freedom than other states? No. You and I are not built that way. We're going to go help those other states get their freedom as well. And same thing with you guys. I think you guys.
Well, we won this game. Now it's on to next week's game.
Yep.
Got to prep for that.
Yep. And I
get ready to go.
Yep. And I absolutely cannot spend the amount of time on other states like I did on Missouri. But if we can set up a platform for them and start getting critical data out for each state on what needs to be done, the call to action, and get other people inspired, maybe they'll start up channels and we can promote their channels through Truth, Money, and Freedom or whatever, or the next channel we start to do this, whatever. There's something we can do.
Just like build a network.
Yes.
That just kind of takes on a life of its own. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If you can just kickstart it.
If Michael Bolden were here right now, I'm sure he would say that this is a strength in numbers game here. The Second Amendment Preservation Act, once we get about 40% of the states with this legislation with teeth in it like Missouri's does, we actually have more power than the federal government can handle.
Yeah, they wouldn't have the manpower to come down and try and do anything about it.
That's right.
It'd be impossible.
Yep.
I mean, just this right now, when this passes, when Trump tried to stop the illegal immigration, you had all those sanctuary cities. He couldn't do nothing because he didn't have the manpower.
You're right. And, and that's the thing. Guys, it's really this simple. Let's just pick a state that's close to me, Iowa. That's a state to the north. Arkansas has already tried to do it. The effort failed, but there were technical reasons, and then a governor veto, technical reasons after that. I'll tell you what, we'll check out that article in a second, Amir. But it really comes down to this, Casey Rich. I'll bet you my bottom dollar that the people of Iowa don't even know they have this bill on their docket. They don't know to support it.
Honestly, how many people here in Missouri do you think know?
Yeah, I know. Only the Second Amendment.
Think about that. But thinking about that, though, and then seeing what we've all managed to do means it can still be done elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me take this down here. Okay, this is from Amir. Laura B. Rodent told the Post-Dispatch on Thursday that police were stationed outside of his house, that people threatened him via email appeared to be in favor of the bill. They're turning on each other. So thanks for that, Amir. There are consequences to actions, Arthur said. If you decide to beat your wife, then again, the consequences is that you should not have access to something that you can use to kill her. Like a rock. Shoot, you could turn, I could turn this telephone right here into a weapon. Anything can be a weapon, but taking away people's Second Amendment rights, basically for something. Okay, I don't want to get into the wife beating thing too much, but I have known a couple of people in my life that are a couple of ladies that stayed with a wife beating husband for a long, long time through many beatings. It's on them to leave those abusive relationships. It's not on us to lose our rights because they choose to stay with an abusive man.
Taking the gun away isn't even going to come close to dealing with spouse abuse.
Yep.
That's, that was, what else they had to do except try and tug at your heartstrings.
Yep.
But, if they really wanted to do something about it, they'd sit down with Republicans and consider legislation to actually do something about it. But they wanted to stop the gun thing. That's all that came down to.
First of all, I'd like to say hello to Wooly the Fox. By the way, Wooly the Fox, I believe, is in Ireland and was following what we were doing here in America. And Wooly the Fox...
Ireland needs a SAPA.
Yep. Wooly, we got our SAPA, or Second Amendment Preservation Act, through the Senate last night. We're getting it through the House tonight. Please join our live stream. It'll be at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. You're on 0 Greenwich, so I think you are right now 6 hours ahead of us. That would be 10 p.m. your time. I believe 10 p.m. your time. Please join us, Wooly. And it's nice to have you in the live stream today. Welcome. Let's see, Amir says all of a sudden it seems that there weren't threats at all. Let's see. Please open the article. I did open up the article. Let's see. Just a little bit passive aggressive. Hang on. I remember a story about a guy who killed his wife by shoving a flip phone down her throat. Oh, geez. But clearly we need to make flip phones illegal. We need to take them away from the people. So if anyone's accused of domestic violence, we need to take their flip phones away, clearly. Let's see, Amir. I did get the article, Amir, but I may be behind here. Tell Governor Parson to get SAPA signed into law now that the Senate got it passed. Parson's office. Okay, Parson's telephone number, 573-751-3222. Wooly's in Poland. That's right. Holy crap, my brother from Poland. I'm from Poland, or I'm sorry, my heritage is Polish.
Poland is awesome.
Yep, that'd be 4 generations ago. My mom's side came from Poland.
If any country in Europe can pull off a SAFE, it would be Poland. I'm telling you that right now.
Yep, that's right. So sorry about that, Wooly. Looks like there aren't any threats at all. It'd be 8 p.m. your time. Okay, gotcha. You're 4 hours ahead of us? No, you've got to be further than that. But that's okay if I'm wrong there. Let's see, not Twitter, but link on my Twitter right below the picture. It's the St. Louis Times Today. St. Louis Times Today. Is it on the page that I'm on right now? Answer me that, and we'll see what we can do to help you out here. I'm just curious what's going on. Your government want to make firearms illegal? No, we're enhancing our Second Amendment or our right to bear arms in the state of Missouri by saying that federal infringements on the Second Amendment will no longer be allowed in the state of Missouri. That's what's going on, Willie. Below the picture, there's a clickable link. Okay? Below the picture. Okay, let's see the picture right here. I can click on that. Okay, so this article right here, Amir, is what you're talking about? boy. Yeah, I can't get in. You got to be a member, I guess. You got to pay. You got to pay to see the story here. Answer this survey to continue reading the story. None of the above.
Maybe you can Google it or something and go
hang
into the
on.
back door and check.
Oh, dear God. 2 more questions. Which of the following smart fitness questions you could... None of the above. Next. Let's see. Don't intend to buy. Submit. All right, there we go. Here's the story, gang.
Got it. Great.
Okay. Jefferson City, the Republican-led Senate sent a controversial gun rights proposal to the House for final approval Thursday after hours of debate and a lengthy filibuster led by the Democrats. It was a lengthy filibuster. And by the way, guys, I am so sorry I told you that if they did a filibuster, it'd be a short one. That was the information I got. And I'm sorry about that 8 hours of drivel. We tried to make up for it by doing the gun show and tell show, though. The bill, known as the Second Amendment Preservation Act, has become one of the most contentious measures of the legislative season. Contentious, not for us, but for the federal government, the Missouri Sheriff's Association, sheriffs, and senators that are linked to the Missouri Sheriff's Association, all having to do with federal dollars coming into the state of Missouri. That's the contention right there. Democrats had stalled on a vote on the package, pushing for an amendment designed to stop domestic abusers from possessing guns. That amendment failed shortly before 9 p.m. Senators approved the bill on a 22-10 vote, sending it to the House for final approval. A sign of how contentious the issue is. A top Senate leader earlier said Thursday that he was a target of threats because of the bill, which had been stalled in the upper chamber. It's not the first time it's happened. Senate Majority Leader Caleb Rodent said, "It's part of the job."
Oh, now it's part of the job. How about that? A couple days ago, I was like, oh, somebody threatened me.
The Columbia Republican told the Post-Dispatch police we were stationed outside of his house, and that people threatening him via email appeared to be in favor of the bill, which seeks to invalidate federal gun laws. The Second Amendment bill will become priority this year as Democrat Joe Biden has sworn in as president and the Democrats took control of Congress. On Twitter Wednesday, Rodent said, gosh darn it, there we go. Rodent said, without mentioning the Second Amendment Preservation Act, "I'm disappointed in the tone and demeanor of interactions, including threats against me and my family, related to bills of interest at the end of this long Missouri legislative session. Civility and respect must exist alongside passion for principled political cause. We can and must do better." Rodent, gosh darn it. This thing is just alive with ads.
Notice how corporate media jumped on that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Let's see. Rodent asked if the message he received were death threats, and he said, "I don't know. Probably depends on how you read it. You don't want to make more than it needs to be." And I know
Except when he was trying to stop it.
Yeah, that's correct.
God.
Yeah, Rodent said not really when asked if the threats had had affected his thought process on the bill. That's lovely. Constitutional rights are what they are, regardless of who believes in them, Rodent said. Meanwhile, Senator Lauren Arthur, Democrat, Kansas City, also said she received angry messages from people, remember that was live on the floor last night, supporting the proposed law. Arthur proposed the amendment designed to prevent domestic abusers from carrying firearms, with the effect of delaying a vote on the underlying bill. "I think there's a lot of overheated political rhetoric used to scare people," Arthur said. "It causes people to react in irrational and exaggerated ways. Ultimately, it makes the issue of passing the Second Amendment Preservation Act seem like a matter of life and death. And I think it elevates the stakes, when in reality this bill will likely be ruled unconstitutional," she said. Well, Michael Bolden would probably love to chime in on this if he were here. There is nothing unconstitutional about this. This is what the Founding Fathers said we should do. The 10th Amendment allows us to take our rights back from the federal government. Second Amendment, for some reason, was on loan to the federal government to watch over for us. They have molested the Second Amendment. We have to take it back. We have to protect the Second Amendment from molestation from the federal government. Arthur's amendment would have closed a loophole in states' laws and allow people with misdemeanor domestic assault convictions to own firearms. There are consequences.
Loophole. Interesting way to word that. Huh?
Yeah, loophole in state law. There are consequences to...
Loophole and shall not be infringed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is the thing. There was no debate. She was talking with someone who 100% agreed with her. If in her filibuster, she said, hey, I'd like one of you Second Amendment, Republicans in the Senate here to answer me a few questions. No, she didn't do that. She talked to someone who was just as dumb and stupid on the Constitution and the Second Amendment as she was. So there was no debate there. There are consequences to actions, Arthur said. If you decide to beat your wife, then again, the consequence is that you should not have access to something that can be used to kill her. We talked about that a bit ago. Several Republicans praised Arthur's motives, but said they would not be able to support her amendment. So we saw that happen too. That was wonderful. This legislation.
ATC.
Yeah.
The corporate media give you a call last night to get your side on all this?
No, they sure didn't. They sure didn't.
They're kidding.
No, they just didn't want to hear it.
Man.
Yeah, so...
You think they'd get all the... Well, I guess this is all the facts, what we're reading right here, right?
Yeah. So, well, this is the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
They're already gearing up to try and strike down SAPA.
Yep, guys, I'll get to your comments here in just a little bit here. I'm going to finish up... Well, I'll finish up the article. The legislation. The Second Amendment Preservation Act allows people to sue local law enforcement for $50,000 if a police officer knowingly deprives a citizen of Second Amendment rights or privileges, while acting under the color of any state or federal law. It says the department would also be liable if it knowingly employed an individual who had worked for the federal government or under the color of federal law to enforce infringements identified by the bill to help... You see, once again, actually, I don't need to read this anymore because this is pure propaganda right there. Yeah. The point of the matter is we're taking the Second Amendment back. And the mainstream, lamestream, and propaganda media is not used to us having these rights, and they are not privileges. How many times last night did we, actually 2 times I heard last night, where the Second Amendment was referred to as a privilege. Did you guys hear that last night? I believe I even put it in the typing chat when it happened. They actually called the Second Amendment a privilege. So that is the mentality of the Democrats. Okay, all right, I'm going to go back to your comments here. We also got Casey Rich on with us live for this broadcast, and since we've had new people join us, let me start by saying this. The Second Amendment Preservation Act is going on the floor of the House after 5 p.m. today. We're going to start a live stream at 4 p.m. from the Truth, Money, and Freedom podcast so we can cover this historic event. Very, very, very big deal here. And guys, I just hate the fact that I have an ad going on here, so I'm going to take that off the screen. So be here at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, please, so we can actually, do this together. The live stream is actually from a feed coming from the House of Representatives, which does have video as well as audio. So we'll have video to watch tonight as well. Please get yourself your favorite adult beverage so we can all celebrate together at the Truth, Money, and Freedom podcast. We deserve it, gang. We've worked hard for this. And now the call to action really starts after tonight, and that's calling the governor. I really, yes, if you want to call your representative and support it one more time, please do. But this isn't really a battle anymore with the House of Representatives. And I'm sorry about all that, gang. I just wanted to, really all I was trying to do is let you guys know that this isn't a major battle we're about to go through here. The House is easy. I'm in contact with Ron Calzone and others. I don't anticipate problems. Okay, all right, so...
Nah, look, if Roden was on Twitter saying, oh, this is great, it's going down. Mm-hmm. Just tune in, man. You're going to see history being made. Okay. It'll be fun.
Okay, people, this is from Abby8161. People, remember to tell those who need this info that the bill protects the victims first and foremost. Learn how to protect yourself and your little ones and not be a victim in the first place. Good point, Abby. Very good point. I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim mentality kind of guy.
Yeah, what's the old saying? If you want to get something done, do it yourself.
Yeah, but also, too, when you want your right given to you by God for self-defense, you also have to take personal responsibility.
Yep.
So if you're willing to give away your right to self-defense, then basically, it's just so you can absolve yourself of personal responsibility, you will lose that right. You will lose it forever, and your kids who aren't born yet.
So that's the bad thing, is if people are willing to give up that right, it's not just them, though. It's going to suffer. It's everyone after them.
Okay. Yep. Missouri Firearms Coalition has a video up. Okay, maybe we should play that real quick for everyone to see. I'll do that in just a moment. Let's see, about SAPA. Good morning to you, Gabriel. Good morning. Reported out of Fiscal News. Yes, it did. Or Fiscal Review. The leftist propaganda working hard. Leftist Marxist propaganda. However, I doubt that there were any threats at all. Yeah, there probably weren't any threats. I don't know what to think about all that, gang. Let's see. Hang on. Hang on 1 second here. I got a message actually, let me do that up here. Twitter. From Liberty. And he sent me a private message. And okay. Here is a message that our very own Revolutionary Liberty sent to Rodent. Great job on holding the bill as long as possible. We know that you never really supported it and wanted it to die. You are an enemy to freedom and put the Constitution and state sovereignty last. You only folded and voted on it because you knew your base would hate you if not. I agree 100%.
Yeah, I think that pretty much told it like it is.
Yep, but I'll tell you what, Rodent will now do a PR campaign about this very message threatening him and his family's lives. So, yeah, so you're going to get, Revolutionary, you might get on a list for this. This, if you take it apart and analyze it for the next 10 hours, could be construed as a threat. So
anything can be construed as a threat nowadays.
Yep, true.
Even if it's not, just say it is.
Okay, gang, I am going to see what we could do to bring up Aaron Dorr. And the Missouri Firearms Coalition's got a new video out. I will find that real quick for you. 7 new videos. Lackluster. Let's see, Patty. He's got talent. Okay, hang on. I'll have to find it here. Can you give me a link, please, to the Okay, Wooly says, to be honest, I can't say much. It is not my country, and it does not apply to me in any sort. Yep, understood. But the fact that you're watching what's happening in the United States and, coming to an understanding here of the Second Amendment and the fact that the right to own firearms that we enjoy here in America, we have to constantly fight for because there are people trying to take that away from us constantly. At least I could see that people here care about what's going on in politics. Here, politics make laws how they want. No agreement with the people. They just make law for their own use. Oh, it's on YouTube. Okay, gotcha. Hang on 1 second. I will find... I am sub to the Missouri Firearm Coalition, 10th Amendment Center, Base Prism. There we go. Okay, guys, I'm about to start a live video here with Aaron Dorr. I'm going to turn off my mic so we can all watch this together. But we'll get the latest message from Aaron Dorr. And once again, Aaron Dorr is one of those important gears, and cogs in the machine to get this done. And we have to give him credit where credit is due. So just like Ron Calzone, just like Michael Bolden. Michael Bolden, unfortunately, is the one guy that people won't think to thank for helping us get the Second Amendment Preservation Act done in Missouri. And I'm not going to forget him for that. And Ron Calzone won't either. Okay, gang, let me situate my microphone here. And I'm going to mute my mic, and we will be listening to Aaron Dorr.
Good evening, folks. Aaron Dorr here with the Missouri Firearms Coalition. You are probably going nuts right now if you are watching any of this debate in the state Senate. We're going to break down what's going on right now, why this is happening, what we can do about this, and kind of what the procedure is now that we're, 7 hours into a Democratic filibuster on the Second Amendment Preservation Act. So we're going to break all this down here in a couple moments, guys. Log in. Give me your location, post your location in the comment section. Someone give me a sound check. We're going to give you guys an update. If you're watching any of this debate, by now you're probably going crazy. You're hearing about state senators talking about their vacation plans for the fall, the summer. They're discussing where they get their oil changed, discussing, their great grandmother's neighbor's paper boy, milk delivery boy. All they can do to try and stop the advancement of SAPA. This is a filibuster. So if you're listening to this debate and you're going crazy, this is how they do it. When the Democrats don't have the votes they need to kill legislation on the floor, they try and kill it by running out the clock. Now, so here's how we got to where we are, okay? Back in December, we worked on this legislation with Senator Burleson, Representative Taylor, got SAPA perfected, got it all ready to go. Great language. Had it pre-filed first week of December? Yeah, first week of December last year. And then the House passed it through committee and all the way through the House the first week and a half of February. So March, April, May, 3.5 months later, at least 3 months, to 3.5 months later, we're sitting here now, T-minus 22 hours left in this legislative session because Republican Senate leaders did not do their job and take care of this weeks ago or months ago when they had the chance to do it. So now we're sitting here again with 21 hours approximately left in session. And the Democrats know that their best play right now is to run out the clock. And so now we are 6 hours at least, maybe even 7 or 8 hours into a filibuster in the Capitol where they're talking about, if it's kind of a new idea to you, what this means is the Democrats will talk about literally whatever they want to. They might read from an encyclopedia. They might read from this morning's Missouri Times. They might discuss the weather from 10 years ago. They can read down journals of all kinds of stuff. They're just simply talking to run out the clock. It's called a filibuster. If it's your first time watching this, if it's making you go ballistic, that's what happens in a filibuster. It's designed to make the other party, the majority party, throw up their hands and say, okay, fine, we give in. We surrender. We'll stop trying to push the bill. And that is exactly what the Democrats are trying to do right now in the Senate. They're trying to get the Republican leadership team to say, you know what, that's it. Throwing up our hands. We're going to surrender. We're going to pull SAPA from consideration. And again, we are in this position for two reasons. Number one, Senate Democrats hate guns, hate you, hate freedom, and hate all of us for trying to maintain it and to expand it. And so they're going to fight to the death, politically speaking, to crush any attempt to advance our gun rights. The second reason, as I mentioned a moment ago, why we're here right now, is that Senate President Schatz pissed away 3 months where he could have put SAPA on the floor for a vote. And so now we're in this position where we stand today. So that's where we are. That's kind of how we got here. If you watch the debate this morning, maybe, 10 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock to 11:30, you heard, and I want to call out some big acknowledgments to Senator Bob Onder, and Senator Rick Bratton and others who fought like lions to take care of and shepherd SAPA through the early morning hours today. They fought aggressively to push back on all the crap that the Democrats were bringing up about SAPA. And some of the quotes that we heard this morning were amazing. An acknowledgement that our gun rights are not about hunting. It's not even about concealed carry. It's not even about self-defense of ourselves and our families. Those are all parts of our gun rights. But at the end of the day, our gun rights, our God-given gun rights, are about the defense against tyrannical government. And we talk about that a lot here at MOFC because we agree 100%. But for a long time, it's been easy for people to say, oh, there's no tyrannical government who's trying to take away your guns. There's no big scheme to disarm America. And all of that has changed now. We now have a federal government. We now have a mentally deficient, creepy old, finding his dentures, groping interns president who has just enough cognitive abilities to repeat the talking points given to him by Kamala Harris or Beto O'Rourke or who knows who is feeding him these lines. And they are very intentional. They absolutely intend to disarm Americans. And so the veneer has been pulled off, the Band-Aid has been pulled back, and that's why we're here today, because SAPA legislation would fix all of that by only allowing Missouri city cops, sheriff's deputies, and state troopers, only allow them to enforce Missouri law when it comes to our gun rights. And so all that federal garbage, executive actions, federal gun control that could pass through Congress, if he could do it, I'm not sure he can, but all those things would be null and void here in Missouri because Missouri peace officers could only enforce Missouri law. And that is what the left was all too happy to, that concept, this doctrine was what the left was all too happy to employ for 4 years under President Trump. So when President Trump was trying to deport violent, illegal aliens, sometimes those who were homicide suspects, when he was trying to deport them out of the country, the left was right there to assert this doctrine, the separation of powers concept, and say, oh, no, our state, our city, we are a sanctuary for criminal, illegal aliens. And you cannot come in here, or certainly we will not be enforcing your federal laws in our city or in our state. Think, California, right? Think Chicago. So in these areas, the state government was like, no, we're not going to enforce it and you're not welcome here. So the left was very happy to utilize all of this for 4 years under President Trump. The left has been very happy to utilize this idea when it comes to the marijuana laws. And whatever your take is on marijuana is irrelevant. The point is that the Democrats were very happy to use this idea that states have the right to assert their own sovereignty when it came to the marijuana laws as they did the immigration laws. But now when it comes to protecting our Second Amendment freedom, our basic ability to defend ourselves from tyranny, now these same people are throwing up their hands. Oh my God, we can't have this. This would be anarchy. This would be the prelude to insanity. We can't have SAPA pass. I mean, if you're watching this debate, the hypocrisy, the lies, and the absolute shameless BS has been flowing for hours. So now the same radical gun grabbers who were championing Black Lives Matter and Antifa thugs who burned, rioted, and shot their way across Missouri a year ago, right now, the same thugs, the same animals who murdered retired St. Louis City police officers who was standing there guarding his friend's jewelry store, the same party who praised all of them, right? Suddenly, now they are the party of law and order. Now this party is the party of law and order. The same party who wanted to defund the police, who have attacked law enforcement for years now, under the Trump administration. Now these people, if you haven't heard it, you might not think it's possible, but it's true. Now these people are standing there saying, "Oh, we can't pass SAPA. This is anti-law enforcement. This is similar to defunding our police." The same lying hypocrites who wanted to defund the police for the last couple of years are now saying, "We can't pass SAPA. That's bad for the police." I mean, but that's just the beginning, because the same people who have never met an unborn baby they weren't willing to rip in pieces in their mother's womb via abortion up to and including after the moment of birth, the same party who's championed the murder of unborn babies for all these years, now they're on the floor as we speak talking about how we can't pass SAPA. This is going to get children hurt. We're going to have more guns in the hands of Missourians, and we're going to have innocent children are going to be harmed because more law-abiding citizens have firearms. I mean, the insanity, the hypocrisy, and the absolute lies that we have heard for going on, I'm kind of losing track, 7 hours, give or take now, is insane. It's insane. And so just know, if you're listening to any of this on the state's website, that every single word out of these people's mouths is a damn lie. Every single argument they're bringing up is designed to simply run out the clock. These people are, they hate you. They hate you. They hate me. They hate our freedom. They hate the Second Amendment. And they hate the fact that, at least in Missouri, they are totally impotent as a legislative body to have the votes they need to stop it. And that's why, again, we're sitting here stuck in a filibuster as they're trying their best to run out the clock. So the arguments are all crap. Their moral authority is totally bankrupt. These people are soulless, bloodthirsty ghouls, but now they're trying to stand there and be the party of law and order and saving children. This is all a scam trying to stop SAPA. So a lot of you are asking us, okay, now what can the Republicans do about it? So here's the process. And this is used rarely in Missouri. Sometimes it's not even used during an entire legislative session. But what the Senate can do, if they choose to do so, is what's called a PQ motion, a previous question motion. And what it basically does, in effect, is it ends debate, ends this back and forth about the weather and your oil changes and where you're going on vacation and all this crap, and it calls the question to the floor for a vote. It's called a PQ motion. Again, it's a previous question motion. Now, Missouri has, from what we know, the strongest filibuster rules in the country as a state legislative chamber. And so to break a filibuster requires the Republicans and the Senate to have 20, as far as we know, it's 20 names on a document calling for a PQ motion. So 20 Republican senators can stand up and they can end this madness. But that's the only way to stop this now that we're this far into a filibuster. So 7 hours into it, we can't get the floor back until the Democrats cede the floor, give control back to the GOP, or the GOP does a PQ motion and forces this issue to a head once and for all. So that's where we are. Now, how long might this go on? We don't know. No one knows. Democrats don't know. There's one scenario which ends pretty quickly. There's one scenario where this goes for another 22 hours. We're 22 hours away from the end of session. Okay? 6 p.m. tomorrow night. That's it. Closing the door, turn off the lights. Everybody's leaving the building for the year. We're done. We're done. So we have 22 hours approximately left. So somewhere between where we are right now, tonight, and tomorrow at 6 p.m., we're going to have a PQ motion unless the Democrats cede control of the floor. You guys tell me, give me a thumbs up if you want to see your Republicans man up, drop this PQ motion, and end this. If you're tired of seeing a handful of anti-gun Democrats stop the entire advancement of this bill. If you want to see the Republicans buck up and fight for freedom, give me some thumbs up, because I can tell you right now, senators are watching this video in real time. Their staffers are watching this video in real time. And many of them have this idea that, oh, that's the nuclear option. We can't do that. We can't use those heavy tactics. I'm here to tell you, if we don't have, if this issue, if SAPA is not important enough to drop a PQ motion and end this debate, then I don't know what is. I don't know what is. And again, we're only here because Senate Republican leadership has screwed away the last 3 months when we could have done this anytime we chose. Nowhere near the end of the session. But again, here we are, stuck in this position, less than a day to go because Republican leadership failed to do their basic job. So that's the situation right now. SAPA is a monumental achievement if we can get it passed into law. It would protect our rights from Joe Biden's federal tyranny. And there is no other bill like this in America right now. I don't care what you've seen on Breitbart or other websites about Arkansas or Arizona or Nebraska. This is all I do. Well, that I help my boys on their little home lawn mowing business. Now, these are the 2 jobs I got, right? This is all I do is gun politics. And I know all of these bills. And none of them have any teeth the way that Missouri's HB 85 has. This is the best version of SAPA that we have ever seen in this country. And if we can pass it here in Missouri, this is the roadmap. I don't just tell you this. I know this because we're helping Republican lawmakers in Iowa who are drafting this. It was filed a long time ago, House File 518. We're working with state reps in Ohio, where my brother Chris Dorr runs Ohio Gun Owners, and OGO is working on SAPA in Ohio using the Missouri language as the bill draft. We're working on the same thing in Wyoming. Now they're adjourned now for the year, but the same thing. So all across Red America right now, what happens here in Missouri, or what doesn't happen, I guess, here in Missouri, this is the roadmap for red states. And we're seeing all kinds of legislators call Senator Burleson, Representative Taylor, and contacting us. How do we do this? How do we do this? The question is, will we actually get it done or not? We have the votes. We had the votes. The question is, do they have the willpower? We discussed this in our videos for the last 2 days relentlessly. You guys know the only reason why we're standing here this close is because of all the pressure that MOFC members have thundered down onto Senate leadership and your own senators. Hell, I don't think the Democrats even thought until late last night this is even going to come up to the floor for a vote. They were convinced that the rhinos in the Senate would kill this on their own. But now, because of what you guys have done, now the Democrats are doing what they can do, again, with this filibuster to kill it, because they know that what we are sitting on right now, folks, it's a spark of freedom. It's an ember. But if this thing passes the Senate, and the House will concur immediately following that, if this happens, and if Governor Mike Parson does his job and signs this little ember of freedom is going to become a ferocious forest fire. It's going to spread across red America like we've never seen. And Missouri was on the front end of the fight for constitutional carry, and state after state after state has followed what Missouri did on constitutional carry and, for that matter, senior ground law. And now, if we become the state to put the best version of SAPA in the books, once and for all, done deal, we're going to see red states follow this all across the country. So we are not just fighting for our freedom. We're not just fighting for Missouri. You and I and all of us are fighting for the Second Amendment across America right now. And so everybody in red America is watching Missouri right now, watching gun owners in Missouri to see if we can make this happen. If we do, it will be the shot heard around the world when it comes to stopping federal tyranny. We can do it. It's constitutional. The courts have upheld it. We are so close. Right now, we're in a filibuster. The question is, will the Republicans end this madness with a PQ motion sometime between now and call it 5 o'clock tomorrow? They have to have some time to deal with this over in the House. So that's where things stand. Share our video. If you want to take an action step, if you're saying, how can I help? What can I do? At this point, your best option is to call your Republican state senator and say, I want you to run a PQ motion, that's previous question motion, and put this to rest. We don't have a super majority of Republicans, only to sit here now and not have you guys use that majority, the one that gun owners gave you, and pass the bills that we want you to pass. So you may call your state senator, text him if you have his cell phone number, hit him on Facebook, any way you can contact him. I want a PQ motion on HB 85, end this insanity, pass this bill, and let's strike a blow for freedom in this state that is watched all across the country. That's where we are, guys. Thank you for all of your action so far right now. By the way, I know there's a lot of new people here who are on our page right now who may be new to what we're doing here at the Missouri Firearms Coalition. If you're not a member right now, guys, if you're not a member of MOFC, you got to get involved. It's very simple. It's joinmofc.com, joinmofc.com. Go there and join up. We need your help. You heard it in debate today. If you didn't hear it, you can play it back. The NRA hasn't been in the building in years. They're all saying it. If you want to get involved in the fight in Missouri, this is where to go. Joinmofc.com and get signed up. If you're already a member, go to our website and donate, please. We've had a shutdown, as you know, on our email program for almost 2 weeks. We're back. We're limping back now. We're shut down for 2 weeks. It cost us dearly. We need your help, guys. Here's what's going to happen. If the Senate passes this and the House concurs on this, we're going to be up on radio and or digital ads within a matter of hours with ads urging Governor Parson to sign this bill into law. That is not a foregone conclusion if you know anything about Governor Parson. So we can't sit back and hope for the best. So we are already, even though we're not sure what's going to happen here with this bill in the Senate, we're already working on these ads as we speak. And we need your help to run them so we can actually get this thing all the way across the finish line, guys. Take action. Share our video. If you can donate, donate. If you want to join, join. We'll keep you guys informed. Thank you.
Okay, gang, you should be able to hear me again. Give me a 5x5 and let me know that it went okay and you guys can actually hear me. Sometimes when we switch between audio, we have this weird echo that goes on for minutes. But for those of you coming in just a little bit late here, I'm going to end the live stream here in just a little bit. So I can get some things done today before we go to our next live stream that'll be at 4 p.m. So just give me a 5x5, gang, and let me know you can hear me. 5x5 from Dinah. Thank you very much. Okay, gang, the deal is, and that was a message from Aaron Dorr, and so we played that for you guys. It's really, really nice to see Aaron Dorr say the same thing as me, that the fight is not just for the state of Missouri. That's the way I feel in my heart, my soul, and in every ounce of my being, that this fight belongs to all 50 states to escape the federal tyranny of what Biden and Congress and the federal courts are doing. That's why the Second Amendment Preservation Act is so critical to all states, not just Missouri. We're getting it done right now. You guys probably were with us last night, so we saw it pass in the House. In the Senate. We're going into the House after 5 p.m. I have that on authority from Ron Calzone, who got it from Dean Plocker. So you really can't get closer to the source than Dean Plocker. So right now, I'm telling you guys, we are going live at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's literally just, what is that? 3 hours and 15 minutes from now, we'll go live. We'll be about an hour, at least an hour early, but we will be following the House of Representatives in real time, and they have video. The House has video where the Senate just has audio, so we'll be able to see and hear the proceedings. And we are not anticipating any problems in the House. The House has been a very big friend to the Second Amendment Preservation Act since it has already passed the House before. This is a House bill. But there was a small language change that happened when it was in the Senate's hands that had to happen, and it had to do with the language about a chilling effect of taxation. I think I've explained that multiple times. But because that change happened in the Senate, it has to be re-voted on in the House. And that's our last step before it goes to the governor's desk. So we'll do that together tonight. We'll witness this together tonight. So 4 o'clock, this is not a stall tactic. This really, truly isn't. For those of you who are skeptical, because you've been through this with us for a long time on this, years, I joined the fight. This is my second year on the fight for the Second Amendment Preservation Act. I didn't get involved a little bit 3 years ago, actually. 3 legislative seasons ago is the best way of saying it. But we're getting it done, and we'll talk more about that tonight. Does anyone have any questions? And by the way, for those of you who think that it is a stall tactic, I got to tell you, I don't think so. It really isn't. It's a grandstanding issue, is what it is. They are finishing the 2021 legislative season with a bang, the Second Amendment Preservation Act, the most popular legislation the state of Missouri has ever seen before, by any measure, by co-sponsors, by phone calls, by emails, by visits to the Capitol. Nothing has gotten more interest pro Second Amendment than this bill. So at any rate, yes, we go through the House tonight, not tomorrow, not Monday, tonight. And we will start our live stream at 4 p.m. So you guys can come on in and witness history with us. This is a big deal. If you guys didn't watch from the beginning of this live stream, please do go back and watch the video, because I wanted to give a lot of credit to the people who really, really were instrumental in making this happen. Ron Calzone. Actually, if it weren't for Ron Calzone, this wouldn't have happened. It's that simple. He and his attorney worked together to draw up what we call the Second Amendment Preservation Act today. But once again, I gave a lot of credit to the Second Amendment, or the 10th Amendment Center, and Michael Bolden. Once again, thank you to Michael Bolden for everything you do and all the resources you've given to people to help them understand the 10th Amendment and the things they can do to escape federal tyranny with the 10th Amendment. So you are a warrior, sir, and thank you for all the mentions that you've given the Truth, Money, and Freedom podcast to help spread the message of freedom, help spread the message of liberty. And that will not be wasted on us, because we will be helping other states. It's not just about Missouri. Yes, I live here. I'm deeply involved. But once we get it done here, we need to concentrate on giving other states the tools that they need to get this done as well. And as quickly as possible, by the way. Okay. Yeah, it'll be a celebration, really. Yeah, if God wills it, Chris, absolutely. In fact, I'm encouraging everyone to show up with their favorite adult beverage. This calls for your favorite adult beverage, even if it's hot cocoa. I may have actually something a tad bit stronger, but I am not a kind of person who drinks excessively, so don't worry about me and crazy antics. That's not what this is about. This is just a wonderful occasion for all of us to get together and witness history on something that's brought us all together. Our love for liberty, freedom, the Second Amendment, and our right to bear arms. So we can celebrate that as Americans, as Missourians. Anyone else who wants to join, of course, join us and help us celebrate this. It's and by the way, it's not just a celebration for Missouri. It may be, very close to the end of the road for Missouri for getting this done, but it's the beginning of the road for other states, and we need to help them out as well. Wooly the Fox says, enjoy the weather. Hope it's gorgeous. Actually, it's looking nice out there. I may go out and mow the lawn before I start the live stream. So just get it done. I got to check the weather and see if it's going to rain tomorrow. And let's see here. 3 years for resin. Yeah, resin. 3 years ago was when I kind of started. I was reporting on it, but I wasn't active in it. And the last year, as you remember, resin, I got very active in it. But thank you for everything you have done. And I know you've made trips to the Capitol too, my friend. Thank you for that. Boy, if we could get SAPA and end the bee flu measure in Missouri, that would be great. Yes, I agree. Let me check and see if I've heard back from Ron. Okay, nothing on the beer flu, the anti-COVID tyranny bill. That's what you're doing before it rains, Casey Rich. Gotcha, buddy. Yep, we got to get our lawns mowed before the rain. I have a riding lawnmower that has mulching blades on the bottom of it. So when the lawn is wet, there's no way I can mow. So I'll see what I can do. All right, do you guys have it? Okay, Gabriel, thanks so much for your literally inspiring podcast. Without your channel, I may not have worked so hard. Hey, you're welcome, Gabriel. I'm glad that I was able to help inspire you to action, because it's people like you and you that made this happen. So we all have a part to play in this. Casey Rich, I don't know what's going on with 1358. In fact, if you guys, I'll see if I can get Ron. Ron, comma, how is HB 1358 doing? Question mark. The Truth, Money, and Freedom podcast members want to know. Period. If there's a call to action for it, please let me know as soon as possible. Period. Okay, now we'll see if we hear back from Ron. In fact, I'll give it a few minutes here. That way, if there's a call to action, gang, I can let you know here before I end this podcast, and then I'll be back in 3 hours. You don't think it's scheduled yet? Okay. Well, basically, hopefully I'll get something from Ron on this. We'll see if he gets back to us. Okay, so any questions on anything that's going on? Anyone who joined us later or anything? You guys have any concerns, comments, questions, anything like that? Just go ahead and throw them up in the chat. I just hope all you guys have a nice day, week. I don't care about politics, government, and any of that. I just hope everyone feel good and have a great week, day, month, life. Hey, thank you for that, Wooly. Hey there, Alex. Welcome back. And Wooly, I love it, man. You're so positive. And yeah, politics suck. Government sucks. And we have to fight them constantly to get them to do the right thing. Hey, it's Craig. Hey there, buddy. Yeah, we're not done with this yet, Craig. We're not done with this yet, but we got through the Senate. That was the big deal. That was last night. We go through the House today. We'll do a live stream starting at 4 p.m. Central Time. That'll be 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll cover that live. And they've got a video feed out of the House, so we can see and hear this historic event happen right here in Missouri. It will pass tonight, but it will be after 5 p.m. the House hits it. We'll cover that when it's going on. 1358 is the the COVID tyranny bill, we call it. Basically, it's the one where we shut down the COVID tyranny, where the state cannot enforce mask orders. No mask orders are allowed in the state, no social distancing orders, no vaccine passports. That's what 1358 is all about. It's an anti-tyranny bill. Now let's all go out and cut our grass. Yeah. And also, remember now, tonight, bring along your favorite adult beverage to celebrate what's going on in Missouri with the Second Amendment Preservation Act. I'm just concerned about that 5 smoke today live. Willie, okay. That's right. For resin, we gotta start a movement here to save the menthol cigarettes. See, guys, actually, as difficult as this has been, and trust me, it's been difficult. Like I said, I'll do a documentary on this. You know, if I can get a couple of people to give me a hand with it. But this was exceedingly difficult to get government to do the right thing, and yet, you know, left to their own devices. Every single bill that becomes a law takes away more pieces of your freedom. And it happens everywhere. The federal level, the state level, the county level, the city level. So we have to fight back. And this one we had to fight for. This was not an easy journey. As those of you who have been watching, you know. Vaccine passports in the U.S. Actually, Willie the Fox, it's not been... I don't know that there's anything beyond a bill in D.C. for vaccine passports at this point in time. We're preempting that in the state of Missouri by trying to make it illegal, to make it mandatory to fly in and out of Missouri or do anything in Missouri without a vaccine passport in case the federal government wants to do this. In Willie the Fox, you're watching something quite interesting here. This is actually a revolution that we're seeing right now. This is a revolution of states starting to separate themselves from the federal government because the federal government is becoming tyrannical. So that's what you're witnessing. That's what you're seeing right now. The Second Amendment Preservation Act is a microcosm of actually a macro view that the states are going, oh my God, look how tyrannical they're getting in the federal government. And those of us that are thinking people know there's nothing you and I can do about it. We can't affect we as Americans, we have no control over our own federal government. I mean, we try to convince the world we do, but we don't. And they do things all the time that are against the will and the interests of the people. So the states where our representatives and our senators that are state-based, that don't go to the Fed, are far more accountable to the people. So we put pressure on them to start actually doing things like the Second Amendment Preservation Act, which is evoking the 10th Amendment and the anti-commandeering doctrine to protect the citizens of Missouri from tyrannical laws in D.C. And Nevada Cario says, yes, I believe in separation. Willie the Fox, they're pushing hard for it here in the States. It's draconian. Yeah, they're pushing it. And Resin, I'm still with you, brother. Save the SIGs. Solidarity. Yeah, we need some of that Polish solidarity going on here for the menthol Save the SIGs. Yeah, because menthol SIGs are going extinct, I think. M5. Okay, gang. And thank you, Craig. I'm sure you're probably still listening in. You're at lunch or something. Thank you for chiming in, brother. I am very sorry I have not been on the Discord very much at all lately, but you know what I've been up to. I haven't abandoned you guys. I've been working this real hard. And we're coming to the end of this now. So remember now, your favorite adult beverage for tonight. In fact, yeah, I will have an adult beverage as well. I'm not sure what I'm going to have yet, but I will have something. And we will celebrate tonight. This is a major victory for liberty for people of Missouri, but we need to make sure that we share this liberty with our brothers and sisters in all 50 states and help them get some kind of Second Amendment Preservation Act passed so they don't lose their right to bear arms with the draconian crap that Biden and his ilk and the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals and Congress, are trying to do. What are you going to do, Willie? You leave the country? Yeah, Willie, I don't think he has any plans to leave Poland. I think he appreciates being able to see what's going on in the United States. But I don't know that he's ever said he's going to leave Poland. Wooly, if there's room for you here in America, Wooly. There's room for you here, man. You're a liberty-minded guy. You would thrive out here, buddy. You would thrive. Okay, gang. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Like I said, I got stuff I got to do. But I want to thank you for joining the live stream today. Don't forget, 4 p.m. Central. I'll get a thumbnail out for it here in just a little bit with a reminder. So you guys will see that already in your feed. Thank you for joining Truth, Money, and Freedom. Thank you for fighting for liberty. If there is Nevada Cario, yep, Nevada Cario, you got to get to a state that appreciates your mindset a little more, buddy. That's what you need. But yes, this fight goes beyond the state of Missouri. We have to spread this liberty everywhere. And also, the more states that, guys, if you want to talk about just pure self-interest, here it is. Here's the brass tacks. The Second Amendment Preservation Act is significantly stronger if other states have it. It's kind of like forming a union, you know, kind of like we used to have here in the United States before we were corporate. We're forming a union of states that literally say F you to the federal government in all their anti-Second Amendment bills, precedent-setting decisions by, circuit courts of appeal, Congress putting in draconian bills, gun registration, gang. I'm telling you, that's what they want. That's what they want first. They have a lot of draconian bills in there right now, sitting in the House and in the Senate. But what it really comes down to is they'll get rid of all the draconian bills, but what they will pass is registration, because that gets them everything they want anyway. They can start their red flag laws as soon as registration's done. So I know the mindset of what they're doing in Washington. Do I have a crystal ball? Am I a psychic? Am I talking to someone in the spirit world? No. I know what they did in Weimar Republic, Germany. I know what Hitler did when he took over. It's the same playbook, guys. If you know history and what happened in Germany, you'll know what's happening in Washington, D.C. right now. The larger problem is the economy is failing. The Keynesian economic model is coming to an end. And lots and lots of horrible things come in politics when that happens. We've been through it before. It was a long time ago in Germany. And so that's what's going on. Take our country back state by state. That's right, Casey Rich. Let's see. Few states have something like it already. Yes, Montana has something like this, and so does Arizona. Montana's bill is stronger, not as good as ours, but heck, what we should do is promote an even better bill in Iowa, even better than we have here in Missouri. It could be stronger with more teeth. Arizona's bill is toothless. Unfortunately, Arizona has the Second Amendment Preservation Act, but they have no ramifications for those who actually infringe on the Second Amendment. That's why ours is strong. It has teeth like that. Here in the U, they're pushing vaccine passports. Willie, shut that down. You got to start a process here. If you have any type of representative government whatsoever, that must be shut down. That will be the end of all of your freedoms. You'll have to get the vaccine in order to be a citizen or a resident. You'll just be literally a shunned slave. I mean, what to do to if they make it... okay, hang on. I mean, what will you do if they make you take it? I mean, it's too late for me. It's done. Okay, yeah, Nevada Cario was in a horrible situation and ended up having to get the serum. You're out of Red Bull. Okay, but I got a big Jaeger bottle. Okay, gotcha. Kansas and Idaho. They have legislation, but I don't think they have anything passed. They do. The Kansas and Idaho are very Second Amendment friendly states, but they don't have SAPA. They don't. I don't think they actually have SAPA passed yet. And West Virginia. Yep. Once again, legislation for SAPA, but no bills passed into law. What do you mean strong? I don't know. That may, Nevada Cario, remind me what I was saying when you're asking for strong. Texas. Once again, all legislation. They don't have SAPA laws. They're very Second Amendment states, to be sure, but they don't have SAPA laws. I think they just have legislation, just like we do. We still have legislation. We don't have a law yet. Strong law. Okay. Vaccine passports in the EU to travel free between countries without two. Oh, gun rights. Yeah, well, I was talking specifically about gun rights. Okay, gang, I seriously do need to break loose from this now. I got to get some stuff done. But right after I get off here, I will start the process of starting a reminder for a new live stream at 4 p.m. Central Time. We'll get back together at that time, and we'll be watching this live. We'll be over an hour early, but I don't want to miss it. So let's get back together 4 p.m. Central Time. That's 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the YouTube channel, Truth, Money, and Freedom Podcast, while we watch this historic event happen, and we can, as friends that found each other with common cause, liberty, and we celebrate with our favorite adult beverage, and know that our hard work is paying off. Okay. Yeah, Family Cave, Nevada Cario. I'm sorry about that, buddy. Nothing can be done about that now. But, okay, gang, I'm going to sign off. Thank you again for joining us live, and we'll be back at 4 p.m. Central Time. Until then, may God bless each and every one of you. Stay safe out there, gang. See you next time.